Alright, time for the second video of our final exam review. Alright, so question number 14. If a tire has a sidewall of 6.5 inches and circumference of 97.34 inches, find the size of the rim. So what I did was I went ahead and gave you a diagram that kind of shows you, what the tire is going to look like. I'm just trying to move this a little bit. There you go. Alright, so first thing we need to do is take this 97.34 and we need to convert that back to the height. So you're going to take 97.34 and you're going to divide that by 3.14 because you got to divide the pi out of that. So 97.34 divided by 3.14, you get an overall height of 31. So this is 31. Now it says the sidewall is 6.5 inches. So if you remember, the sidewall is right here. That's the upper sidewall, and it's also down here. This is lower sidewall. What I'm looking for is the rim. Well, think about it. Sidewall, rim, sidewall is what adds to get to 31. So I'm just going to subtract out the two 6.5. So it's 31 minus 6.5 minus 6.5, and whatever I have left over will be my rim. So 31 minus 6.5 minus 6.5, 18. All right. Next one, the state of Georgia's DMV is implementing a new license plate system. All right. So for all characters, the letters O, V, W, X, Y, and Z cannot be used, and then 0 cannot be used either. Alright, so it says 4 of the 5 characters will be numbers. Alright, so I'm just going to just say, okay, that'll be a number, that'll be a number, that'll be a number, that'll be a number, and then obviously that's got to be a letter. Okay, so the numbers originally would be 0 through 9, which gives you 10 possibilities. But it says you cannot use a 0, so that's going to be 1 through 9, which will give me 9 possibilities. Alright, so that means this will be 9, this will be 9, this will be 9, that'll be 9. Alright, now with letters, I'm right over here, A through Z is 26 letters. Okay, 26 possibilities. But it says 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 of these letters cannot be used. So that means you're not going to have 26, you're going to have 20. So that means there's 20 possibilities for this very last blank. Okay, now here's the thing, and that is that the letter could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here, it could be here. So that means there's 1, 2, 3, 4 more places. Alright, so that means a grand total of 5 spots in which it could be. So that means after I multiply all my 9s in this 20 together, I've got to times it by an additional, or times it by another 5, because this letter could be anywhere in the license plate. And so you'll get 656,100. All right, question number 16. You are standing on a sidewalk and watching a parade pass by. Here are the observations you make. I said, all right, so for the first 4 minutes, 400 people walk by. All right, so I'm just going to go ahead and pay attention to 400. This is my rate. Now it says this rate decreases by 60%. This rate, this number, okay? So off to the side, I'm going to say 400 times 0.60 is equal to a number. All right, so let's see, 400 times 0.6, that gives me 240. Okay, this is not my new rate. Please keep that in mind. Okay, this is what my rate is subtracting by. So I'm going to take 400 and I'm subtracting by 240 to get 160. This is now my new rate. Now it's 160 people are walking by. All right, now look at phase 3. This rate decreases by 30%. So 160. So 160 times 0.30. So 160 times 0.3 gives me 48. Now I'm then going to take 48 and subtract it from 160. So 160 minus 48 gives me 112. 112. All right, now it says this rate decreases by 50%. Again, this rate, the 112. So off to the side again, 112 times 0.50. I already know what that's going to be, but I want to show it to you. That gives me 56, and then I'm going to take 56 and subtract 112 minus 56 gives me 56. Okay. Now these are all my rates. Now what I'm going to do is then going to multiply it by the actual numbers in each phase. So for the first 4 minutes, so that's 400 times 4, which gives you a total of 16. My T stands for total. This first phase, 1,600 people walk by you. 160 the next 4 minutes. So 160 times 4, 640 people. 112 times 4, 448, I believe. 56 times 3, I believe that's going to be 168. Let me check. Yep, there it is. So add 1600, 640, 448, and 168. So 1600 plus 640 plus 448 plus 168. Enter. 2,856 people. All right, question number 17. In the metro Atlanta area, how many phone numbers are using possible code 404 restriction? All right, now it says once you start doing, now this is where a lot of folks screw up, and that is you have all these restrictions, but guys, it only talks about the fifth number. Okay, there's actually 7 numbers. There's 7 numbers in a phone number. It says the first digit of the phone number cannot be 0 through 4. Now remember, your options are 0 through 9 unless you have a restriction. So it says 0 through 4. So that means it could be 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's 5. The second number cannot be a 0. So that is a 1 through 9 situation, which gives you 9 possibilities. The third and fourth numbers cannot be a 0 or 1. So that's a 2 through 9. So I believe that's going to be 8. And it says the fifth number cannot be 0 through 6. So that means it has to be a 7 through 9 situation. So 7, 8, 9. That's 3. But notice it doesn't say anything about the last 3 numbers. If they don't say anything about these last 3 numbers, that means there are no restrictions. So that's a 0 through 9, 0 through 9, 0 through 9 possibility. 10 times 10 times 10. So 5 times 9 times 8 times 3 times 10 times 10. Multiply it all together. 864,000. Now the next question says if the phone company adopted 3 more area codes for a total of 4 in the metro Atlanta area, how many phone numbers will be possible? So what you're doing is let me just give you a quick example. So let's say if your number was 770-555-1234 and someone down the street had 678-555-1234, and let's say someone across town had 404-555-1234, and let's say someone in the other county had 706-555-1234. Notice what we have here is 4 different ways that you can use this phone number because of the area codes. So because there's a total of 4, each number can be quadrupled. So you're going to take this number and then you're going to times it by 4. So there's a total possibility of 3,456,000 possibilities. All right, John bought a TV with a size of 70 inches and an aspect ratio of 21:9. All right, so notice what we have here is a right triangle. So we're going to do the Pythagorean theorem. Now, from my experience from students, and hold on, let me keep going. Aspect ratio is 21:9. Remember, 21x 9. You got to put an x on these things. All right. So the way you're going to set it up, remember, the Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. I don't care which is a or b, so I'm just going to say parenthesis 21x squared plus 9x squared is equal to 70 squared. All right. Where people screw up is when they start squaring this. 21 squared is 441x squared. Okay. The square goes to the 21 and also goes to the x. Keep that in mind. Plus 81x squared is equal to 4,900. Where people mess up is that they don't take the square to the x and they end up with like 441x, which is incorrect. I'm going to combine like terms, so 441. So 441 plus 81. 441 plus 81. 522x squared is equal to 4,900. So 4,900 divided by 522. That gives me x squared is equal to 9.3. I'm just going to say 9.38. Just going to leave it like that. All right, so I'm going to Square root it, so second square, second my answer. I'm just going to say 3.1. So x is equal to 3.1. There you go. Now to find the width, take your x and plug it into that x, 21. So it is 21 times 3.1. That'll give your width. Same thing for your height. Take 3.1, plug it in for x. So that's 9 times 3.1. Gives you 27.9. And then lastly, the area is the length times the width. So 65.1 times 27.9 gives you 1,816. Okay. A talent show is scheduled for Saturday night, local elementary school, the layout. Okay, so each zone is 1,400 square feet. So that's 1,400 square feet. That's 1,400 square feet. That's 1,400 square feet. That's the area, 1,400, 1,400, 1,400. Okay, and it says that in zones 1 and 4, which are these first two, 10 square feet per person. Well, if it's 1,400, all I do is just simply divide by 10 for both these. So that means a grand total of 140 people can fit in zone 1 and 4. Okay. Now next for zone 5, 2 and 5, 12 square feet. 12 square feet. So 1,400 divided by 12. 1,400 divided by 12. So 1,400 divide that by 12. We're just going to round that to the nearest whole. 117 people. 117 people on each side. And lastly, 30 square feet per person for zones 3 and 6. So you pretty much get the idea here. It's the same process, just several times over. So 1,400 divided by 30. We're just going to round that to 47. 47. Oop, lights went out again. All right, there we go. All right, so just add 140, 140, 117, 117, 47, 47. You'll get 608. Now, for security reasons, the school will provide a teacher for every 50 attendees. Using this ratio, how many teachers will be at the show? Simply, if you wanted to create a proportion, you would say 1 cop for every 50 attendees is equal to how many cops over 608. Cross multiply and solve. Or you can simply say, well, you have 608, just divide that by 50 because it's for 50 attendees, and you'll get 12. All right. So let's see if I can find my next. Oh, goodness, hit the wrong. So 19, 20, 21. All right, 22. All right, hit the camera. All right, let's see if we can do this. There we go. All right, so here is Bill bought a new truck, and he replaced his factory tires with new aftermarket tires. Trying to make this less sideways. All right. So 185 is the width of the tire, 55 is the aspect ratio, and you can actually do 55% if you wanted to. And then lastly, 20 is the height of the rim, which is right there. All right. So the height of one sidewall, you take 285 and times it by that to get that. So that's 285 times 0.55. That gives you 156.18. All right, but that's in millimeters when you convert to inches. So you notice over here it says 25.4 millimeters to 1 inch. So I'm going to take 156.8. I'm going to divide that by 25.4 to get the height, which is 6.2. Now, see my picture over here? My height of my sidewall is 6.2, which means you need a lower sidewall of 6.2, but the height of the rim is 20. So 6.2, 20, 6.2. All right. So to find the overall height of the tire, you just add all these three numbers. Okay. That gives you 34.2. Now, to find the circumference of the tire, I gave you the formula right here. You times the height of the tire times 3.14, which gives you 101.7. Now it says to find K. Finding K, if you notice, his old circumference of his old tires was 81.3. So I'm going to take the newer circumference and divide it by the older circumference, which gives you 125.4. 1.25, sorry. Now what this is basically like a rate of error, if you want to look at that. So from here it says he traveled 10,000 miles on his aftermarket tires. On his bigger tires, if he didn't calibrate his odometer, that would be incorrect. So I'm going to take 125 times it by 10,000 to get my actual mileage. He actually traveled 12,513. He's actually going further than he thinks. And then lastly, it says, according to Bill's speedometer, he is traveling at 65 miles per hour. You can't see that. I hit the camera again. My bad. On his aftermarket tires. So to find out his real speed, you take 125, you times it by 65 to get 81. So he's actually going 81 miles per hour. All right. Okay, this question here. All right, so a person wants to increase the photo for a larger one. All right, so what we have here is a regular picture, but notice that the picture is now outside the frame. The frame is the actual box itself, all right, the actual rectangle. All right, so what we got to do first is find what X is. Now, X is the width of the picture. So I'm going to have to take the smaller picture and create a fraction. So I always create a fraction based off of width over height. All right, so the width is 6 over 4. So 6 over 4 is equal to, now remember, this is the width of the picture. I need to use the width of the picture, which is X. Don't use 14. 14 is the width of the frame. I need the picture, so that'll be X over 10. So I'm going to cross multiply and get 4X is equal to 60. So when I do the math, X is equal to 15. All right, so X is equal to 15. All right, now what is the area of the blown up picture? Well, the width is 15 and the height is 10, so the area is 15 times 10, 150. Now it says, what is the area of the larger photo picture frame? Well, it is a 14 by 10. 14 times 10 gives me 140. Now it says, oh, the percentage. What is the percentage of the blown up picture will still be able to be included in the frame? All right, so it is, remember to find the percentage, it's what I want over the total. What I want to know is the picture, which is 140, divided by the whole thing, which is 150. So 140 divided by 150, 140 divided by 150, do it right, 140 divided by 1. And then I'm going to move the decimal 93%. So I'm at 93%. All right. One of these tire questions again. If a tire has a rim of 14 inches and a circumference of 62, I'll go ahead and tell you, whenever I give you the circumference, convert it back to the height. So whenever I give you the circumference, convert it back to the height by dividing by 3.14. So 62.8, so let's see, 62.8 divided by 3.14, that gives me an overall height of 20. Now it says the rim is 14, and I don't know what that sidewall is, I don't know what that sidewall is. Alright, so just using a little algebra here, that'll be x plus 14 is equal to 20. I subtract out the 14s, and I'm going to combine the two x's. 2x is equal to 6. And then from here, x is equal to 3. There you go. Alright, let's see, that's 24. Alright, so the Hatfields are having their annual family reunion. They're expecting 175 people, and they need to find a place to have a reunion. All right, so they found the train depot, all right, as a possible venue. I'll move the camera a little bit. All right, the meeting room measures 50 by 75 feet. Each person will occupy. Okay, so this is a people over space situation. Okay, now what happens, what a lot of folks screw up on is they see this 175 and they're thinking, oh, I got to put this in the proportion. Nope, we don't touch that right now. So that's off on that. That is almost like it doesn't even exist at the moment. All right, so it says each person will occupy 40 square feet. So that's one person over 40 square feet is equal to how many people can fit. Here you go. We got to find the square feet of 50 by 75. So 50 times 75, 3,750. We have a proportion. We're going to cross multiply. 40x is equal to 3,750. Divide by 40. Let's see, divide that by 40. That gives me x is equal to 93.75, which rounds to 94. So I can only fit 94 people in this space. So can I fit 175 people? Well, no, I can't if it only has enough space for 94 people. All right, next question. Sammy went to a tire store and he bought a tires with a circumference of 93.58 inches. He drove it into a pothole and blew the tire out at mile 11,571. How many times did the tire rotate? Okay, so what we have here is every time the tire spins, every time it spins, it's going 93.58 inches. So we need to figure out how many inches are there in 11,571. Well, I'm going to tell you. 11,571 miles. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. So 11,571 times the mileage, 5,280 feet. We're going to be dealing with some big numbers here. 11,571 times 5,280. So let's see, that's 61 million times, or I'm sorry, 61,094,880 feet, and I got to convert that to inches. So I got to times this by 12. I'm going to times that by 12. I'm going to very large number. So that's 733,138,560. That's how many inches there are in 11,571 miles. Okay, now every time the tire turns, again, going back up here, it goes 93.58. So I need to figure out how many 93.58s are in this big number. So I'm going to divide that by 93.58. Divide that by 93.58, and I get 7,834,000. So basically, the tire rotated, went around 7,834,351 times. All right. Let's see where we're at. All right. Well, I'll probably do this one last question, or the one last page, and we'll call it a video here. Using the 12 by 12 foot square to estimate. All right, so this is another people over space situation. Now, in this picture, I don't know how many people are fitting in this square, so that's E over 144, because 12 times 12 is 144, is equal to X over 150 times 150. 150 times 150, 22,500. Cross multiply, so that's 144x is equal to 22,500 E, and I divide that by 144, 156 E. Keep that E on there because that E is an estimation. All right, so it says if 15 people fit in the square, how many people can fit? So up here we didn't know how many people could fit in the square, that's why we put an E in there. But now we know that there's 15. So I'm going to take 15, plug it in for E, and I get 2,340. So if you need to see it, 156 times 15, 2,340. All right. All right. Next one is question number 29. We'll probably call it after this. Now, first off, the width and the height. Let's go ahead and find the aspect ratio. So watch this. Calculator does everything. 74 divided by 42. Enter. Second table, see how it has that FD pop up? There we go, 3721. Now to find the size, now remember the size is the diagonal, and what we have here is a right triangle. So that's my Pythagorean theorem. So it's going to be 74 squared plus 42 squared is equal to c squared. C, because I don't know what the size is. So when I do the math, I get 85. Now to find the area, it is the width times height. So the width is 74, and I times that by 42. That's how I got 3,108. And lastly, the perimeter. Remember, the perimeter is the distance all the way around. So if the width is 74, there's two 74s. If the height is 42, there's two 42s. So 74, 42, 74, 42. Add it all up, 234. All right, that'll be the end of this video, and I'm hoping maybe two more left, but who knows. All right, thank you for watching.